11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Greetings from Houston, Texas. We are live for Simulation Football League action as the Houston Hyenas are going to take on the visiting Charleston Predators. My name is Eric Benson alongside Stephen Hacker. We are here to bring you Week 6 action live from Houston, Texas. And Stephen, we were talking about this off air. Even though both these teams not looking great in the win-loss column, this is going to be a good matchup here today.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to get excited about. You know, how these teams schemed against each other to eliminate the star players. You know, like we were talking about for Charleston. You know, we know Keith Swearingen's going to get a lot of action, the running back, but which wide receiver and tight end was going to show up? You know, they got two wide receivers on the outside, Kim McCarroll and Shea Carroll. They also have Sean Harrelson, and they're all about the same in yardage. Where on the Houston side, it's all the passing yards are pretty much locked up by the wide receivers, D.R. Sim and Leroy Brown. You know, both, I think you said they were 10 and 11 in the receiving yards.
Yep, 10 and 11 in the SFO currently in receiving yards. Both those wide receivers looking at big games tonight. We'll see what happens. Kickoff is next. We're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We're live on 11 Sports. Stay tuned. And Houston will kick the ball off to start things here in Texas. A unique look for the Hyenas tonight. So they're wearing the white helmets there, usually rocking the black ones, but decided to go with an alternate look, which I think looks great.
Yeah, it's a great look. Great alternate uniform there, Brad.
And returned up to the 29-yard line is Charleston. Charleston with a very basic uniform, but I still like it. Basic, classic kind of look.
Yeah, throwing it way back. You know, nothing wrong with the little black and white offset.
Lance Dulake with the return out to the 29. And that's where the Predators will take over. TD Drew in his second year. He's going to hand it off to Keith Swearingen. The dynamite running back only gets a couple on the play as he brings it out to the 32-yard line. And there are those rushing yard leaders for the Simulation Football League. We talked about Swearingen quite a bit here, and his counterpart, a very good running back as well, but Swearingen's second in rushing yards currently.
Yeah, Swearingen's having a really nice year offensively. Charleston likes to get him involved early and get him involved often.
Drew is going to have a 7-step drop. Plenty of time. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw it deep. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. Couldn't quite get the loft on that football to get it to his receiver, who had a step on the defense. Anthony Wayo there with the pass defended.
Yeah, took a big shot down the field there. That was Sean Harrelson that was targeted. And TD Drew is not afraid to throw the rock deep down the field.
And on a 3rd and 8, he's going to need to get something big here, as this is not an easy down to convert. Drew with time. He's running around to the pocket, throws it across his body, and incomplete. Again, great coverage by the Houston defense, and that forces the incompletion and the 3 and out there.
Yeah, Chad Tackle came up and forced TD Drew out of the pocket a little bit there, made a move, and then a tough throw to a crossing Ken McCarroll. So the incompletion results, and this first drive is over fairly quickly for the Charleston Predators.
Certainly not what they had in mind to start things off. Going 3 and out and then giving the ball right back to the home team in front of this Houston crowd, and that's never anything that you want to do, giving them additional ammo here, as these fans are always very, very loud here in Houston.
Yeah, it's a good crowd, a good team. You know, they've been around in the SFL for quite a while, and They've got a couple of legendary players on their team that are, SFL great.
Absolutely. We'll get to those guys in a second. Kentez Johnson leading the troops out onto the field right now. I formation for the Hyenas. First and 10 from the 36. Warren Murray with plenty of room. He gets through the first tackler into the second level, turning on the Jets, getting rid of the second defender. 10, 5, touchdown Houston, just like that.
Warren Murray, first carry, this guy was hungry, and I think he's, wrapping up the ball. Oh, yep. I don't know what that was. I thought he was going to swallow the baby, but I don't know what quite celebration that was.
I'm not sure what that one was.
But a dynamite play nonetheless for Warren Murray. Broke the tackle and then just was off the races. Couldn't quite. Broke 2 tackles and then couldn't get him. Just amazing effort by the veteran.
And Caledon Hawley, the rookie, trying to stop Murray on his way to the end zone. Couldn't quite make it happen as he just turned on the Jets there and just zoomed into the end zone for their first touchdown of the game. So now we'll see David Griffin on the extra point attempt. Low snap, pressure coming in. It is blocked. So no extra point converted for Houston as it was a terrible snap. Couldn't quite get it up in time. And it is 6-0 as a result.
Yeah, and that really hurts you. Maybe not right now, but, if this is a close game like you and I think it's going to be, that 1 point, that could be the difference maker. And we're going to have to now see what kind of impact that has on this game.
Every little bit matters. We'll have to wait and see. Great start here from the Houston offense. Charleston looking to get things going here as they just get a quick breather along the sideline and they're back to work, as Houston made quick work of the Charleston defense, which we thought coming in was very highly touted. Second against the rush as far as yards per game, and they gave up a big one to Warren Murray right out the gate. First and 10 now from the 32. Bunched wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Drew to throw. He's going to throw it over the middle of the field. That's Lake, the returner, as he makes a catch of around 7 yards out to the 39-yard line.
Linebacker B.J. Lovelace for the Houston Hyenas made the play. Interesting thing about Lake, not only does he have special teams duty, but he's earned the trust of quarterback T.D. Drew. He's involved in their game plan week in and week out. He'll probably finish with about 6 or 7 targets.
We've seen Keith Swearingen, the running back, Ken McCarrow and Shea Carroll, the other wide receivers on this team, as Swearingen gets a handoff and is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Actually, they'll give him a couple yards there on forward progress. So 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Predators. Sean Harrelson, the tight end for the offense as well.
And there's another close look at B.J. Lovelace. Man, I love that helmet. The red really makes that hyena pop.
Yeah, absolutely. Loving this red alternate look here for Houston today. 3rd and 1 now for the Predators. Drew shuffling in the pocket. He's in trouble and he goes down. Mike Fats Johnson was all over him, forced the incompletion, and it's going to be 4th down yet again for the Predators.
Yeah, big free agency move for the Houston Hyenas when they signed Mike Fats Johnson, the defensive tackle. Big man, 6'7", 320. His first season again with Houston, but he's been 4 seasons in the league. With Las Vegas and Tallahassee.
And you could definitely see why they wanted him, a absolute force in the middle of that line there. So 2 3-and-outs to start things off for the Predators. Not a great start as Houston calls for a fair catch. That's Fed, the returner, calling for it at the 25-yard line. Well, we didn't see much of the Houston offense, but, we saw a lot at the same time.
Yeah, just an explosive play. Charleston's going to have to tighten up in the front 7 and, secure the tackles whenever he's coming. Murray's coming through the holes. They got to stop him. They can't give up another big play.
Murray's going to get another handoff, and he's got room again. This time he'll get bottled up right around the 31-yard line for a gain of 6. Leroy Brown and D.R. Sim, we talked about them at the top of the show. Both top receivers in the SFL, top 15 receivers. Warren Murray, obviously a top running back as well, even though he's not in the top 5 for yardage as of right now. And get a look at the chat over there on the right-hand side of your screen. That is the 11 Sports Next Twitch channel chat. Be sure to check that out at twitch.tv/11sportsnext. As Warren Murray gets another couple yards there out to the 33, 3rd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, 23.7 yards per carry right now for Warren Murray. But I thought on that run right there, he displayed a lot of patience. He had to make a couple of moves, but was really trying to let his blockers set the edge so that he could make something happen. Good vision.
I see my boy T-Roy Gaines with a little Duval chant. I'll give him a Duval here in a second. As Warren Murray gets a screen there, Kentez Johnson had nowhere to throw the football, just dumps it off to Murray, and he'll lose yards on 3rd down. Houston's going to have to punt here.
Yeah, Brandon Haight was over there in the backfield, and he's a staple of the Charleston's defense. He's going to make a lot of plays. They're going to blitz him. They're going to drop him back in coverage. He's a linebacker with a lot of responsibility.
And pressure's coming as Charleston just barely did not get that block there, as they will only get maybe a couple yards on the return. And we will have to see what Charleston does on the other side of the break. Not so much from the Predators so far. Can they get things going? Stick around. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports, presented by APM Music. As we get things set up here for Charleston, hoping to get a little bit of forward momentum here on offense as they've gotten 2 3-and-outs to start things off. Keith Swearingen trying to add a little fire to the offense. He'll only get 2 on that play as the Houston defense has been stifling. Let's go over to that Houston defense real quick here, Steven. Chad Tackle and Mike Fats Johnson, the defensive tackles. BJ Lovelace and Rodney Panani, the linebackers there. Aiden Davis, the 2nd overall pick in the SFL rookie draft, and Everett Garrison, the corners. Eddie Gage, the Hall of Famer, and Anthony Wayo, the safeties for the Hyenas defensive backfield. Swearingen with a handoff this time will only get 3 as he gets tackled at the 38.
Yeah, running back comps right now, it's a pretty wide margin, but again, you don't give up on the running game because it sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. You just have to be consistent and keep feeding the running back the ball.
We'll see if they stick to the running game here on this 3rd and 5. They will stick to the running game. Swearingen trying to make it out of the backfield. He does, but just barely, as they'll mark it for no gain. And again, Charleston with another 3-and-out. They have not gotten the first down yet this game.
Man, that's really tough. You think that on the legs of Swearingen that they could figure something out. They got 2 quality wide receivers and a really good tight end that they can get involved. So coming out a little flat here early.
Ball is away there on the punt. Another fair catch called for by Fed at the 24-yard line, and that's where Houston will take over. So both offenses, minus the Warren Murray touchdown, obviously, not really finding their way just yet. Still trying to get all the pistons firing, Steven.
Yeah, trying to find what works, trying to adjust to what the defensive coverages look like, and just trying to find their rhythm.
See what happens here. 1st and 10 from the 24. Kentez is under center. He'll take a short drop, fires it over the middle into coverage, and threads the needle complete out to Big Bad Leroy Brown across the first down marker to the 39.
Yeah, and a great throw by Kentez Johnson. The internal timer went off and he got rid of the ball. It's a tough throw, but got it in there, and it's 1st down for the Hyenas.
Let's go over to the defense for the Predators quickly here. Jack Brown, Brandon Haight, the backers for the Predator defense. Johnny Bravo, Kaladin Holly, the 5th overall pick. Both corners, Paul Connolly, Zachary Bates, Jack Hoffman, all safeties for the Predator defense. 1st and 10 now as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. Johnson pressure coming and is hit, and they're ruling a fumble. I'm not sure I agree with the call on the field. However, it is a fumble recovery by the defense as Brandon Haight picks up the loose football.
Yeah, I think Paul Connolly was the one that's going to get that knocked it loose. No, that was 44. That was Kaladin Holly that knocked it loose, the rookie you're just talking about him. And I don't know, that looked like a fumble to me. That looked like a fumble.
Oh, man. We're going to have to see if they want to challenge that one. Kaladin Holly is a big guy, by the way, 6'2", 215. And it looks like Houston will challenge the call on the field and see if they can get that reversed. In real time, I disagree, Steven. I think that it was just an incomplete pass. Didn't have time to make a football move. It's a toughie, though.
It's kind of a bang-bang play to me. I don't know. We'll see what they decide. I'm glad it's not in our hands.
Absolutely. That's why we're up here. And it looks like the ruling on the field is overturned. So Houston will not lose a timeout on that challenge, and they will keep the football as it is marked, as it ruled an incomplete pass. So 2nd and 10 now for the Hyenas. Holly a little upset that he didn't get that forced fumble in his stats column. We'll see what he does here as Warren Murray gets a handoff, spin move as he gets away from the first defender out to the 45-yard line for a good game, about 5 or 6. Sets up 3rd management.
Yeah, and it's going to take all the Predators, to come in there and gang tackle Warren Murray. He's a top-tier running back. He's the guy, you got to pay attention when he gets the ball. Everybody's got to run hard to him and bring him down.
3rd down. 6 in the box for the Predators. Bunch of wide receivers towards the top of the screen for the Hyenas on offense. Blitz coming. Kentez is going to throw it down to the bottom of the screen. Toe drag swag and out of bounds as that is a completed pass and a 1st down for the Hyenas.
Yeah, good job by Kentez recognizing the tight end was open out in the flats, getting it to him and letting him pick up the yards.
Hey, be sure to check us out on Instagram, by the way. Like the SFL on Instagram at SimulationFL. And be sure to give partner Nation's Best some love while you're on there as well. Nation's Best Football, as they put out some interesting stuff on their social media feeds, specifically their Instagram. As Warren Murray gets a swing pass out of the backfield, only gets 3, as that was a good tackle made by the Charleston defense there. That was Jack Hoffman coming up.
Hoffman's a rookie. He was a week 2 signing for the Predators, so good to see him progressing, getting along well for his team.
Looking good out there so far. 2nd and 7 from the 47. Another handoff to Murray, and Murray is met with authority right at the line of scrimmage. Big time tackle there. And that was Big Jack Brown getting in there, the acquisition from Mexico City.
Yeah, he's a solid linebacker. 5 seasons with the league. He can do anything as well. Him and Brandon Haight, they're a dangerous linebacking duo.
Johnson's in the gun this time on 3rd and 6. Has time. He's going to throw it over the middle, and he's got his man out across the 1st down marker to the 39-yard line of Charleston. That's fed once again, and that'll move the sticks for the Hyenas.
Yeah, Zachary Bates was in coverage there, just couldn't quite get in front of the ball, and that's a Hyenas 1st down.
Houston finally getting some traction here, showing some offensive momentum as Johnson will throw again. He's going to check it down to his back coming out of the backfield there. That was Jamie Alawale, the fullback, and couldn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards 2nd down.
Yeah, everything was covered downfield, so he just kind of checked it down to his fullback, hoping to get something positive out of it. Unfortunately, they lose 2. Going to need about 10 yards to get to field goal range.
Still a couple more chances to do it here as Kentez wants it all. He's going to throw to the far sideline and incomplete. Kaladin Holly, the rookie, saw it the whole way and couldn't quite reel it in It's going to be a third down coming up, intended for DR Sim, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for a rookie to be out there with the SFL great like DR Sim. So he won that battle, but it's gonna be a tough matchup all night for him.
And who's going to win the war here is the big question. As DR Sim is one of those sneaky wide receivers that somehow makes big play after big play, always clutch down the stretch. Kentez is going to throw it his way and couldn't quite reel it in. That was actually intended for Leroy Brown, the other wide receiver, and that falls incomplete, so it's going to be a punt.
Yeah, and even if he had caught that particular target, he was pretty short of the first down marker. I think it was going to be a punt for them either way there. He was pretty well defended by Charleston.
So we'll see if Houston can pin them deep here.
This is where that bounce comes into play. Yeah, very low snap. But this is an opportunity for a good bounce. Let's see what happens. Nope.
Couldn't quite put the backspin on that one, so that's going to be a touchback. On the other side of the break, Charleston will kick things off from the 20-yard line. What can they do, if anything, on offense? Come on back. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. And Charleston setting up shop at the 20-yard line following that touchback inside of 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter of action. What makes this community so great is the community itself. The Simulation Football League, plenty of great people to talk to in the chat of 11 Sports Next. So be sure to check out twitch.tv/11 Sports Next. I see the Real Imp Guy, Nick_Castle, 3 Scorpio King, True KJ5. Syndicate, Eddie Gage, the Hall of Famer in there, TMG82, that's T-Roy Gaines, DR Sim 80, and many, many more. Be sure to get in there and talk with those guys. Always fun to chat with them on game day. 2nd and 3, following a good play on first down for the Predators. Drew with the delayed handoff to Swearingen, and man, Houston was ready for that one as Chad Tackle gets in there for the loss. It's going to be 3rd and 4 coming up here, Steven.
Yeah, the other big defensive lineman for the Hyenas steps up right there and makes a big play.
And look at the league leaders in sacks. Chad Tackle there, top 5 in the league with 5 sacks so far this season. Ghibli Doo just wrecking shop over there in Tulsa with 9 sacks to his credit this season. 3rd and 4 now. Swearingen gets the handoff, and Houston again ready for it, completely taking this Charleston offense away, as they just can't get anything going at all, as that's another 3 and out for Charleston.
Both teams look very, very prepared. It looks like the coaches on both sides did a great job in preparation for this week's game because, both sides are having a hard time moving the ball. The defenses are both playing very well.
And with the exception of that lone Warren Murray touchdown, a bit of an outlier because this has been a defensive contest so far. Woo, and speaking of defense, there's a whooping right there as Josh Fed ends up on his back on the return. Only gets maybe a yard, and that was a bit of a pity yard, I think.
Yeah, they give you the fair catch to protect yourself. Electing to not use it means that you're a free target. So once you catch the ball, you're going to get leveled. So that shows it right there. Yeah, incoming, exactly.
1st and 10 now from the Houston 40-yard line. Bunched wide receivers towards the top of the screen for Kentez. Warren Murray is the single back. Johnson's going to hand it off to Murray, and a great play by the Predator defense, getting off the line with Bob Mallett and getting the tackle for loss on the play.
Yeah, there you see again down on the chat on the right side of your screen. Some Hall of Famers that are in there is Eddie Gage, one of the Houston Hyenas safeties. AJ Today Jackson.
Don't forget
Thank you guys for
DRC.
being in with us. Sorry about that.
At the break, 6-0 Hyenas. Stay with us. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. We're live on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. And brought to you in part by Fuel, Beyond Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots and vehicle shots brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage as we get a look at beautiful Houston, Texas, the site of our contest here today. 6-0 at the end of one. Houston with the football once again, and a 2nd and 11 as Johnson is going to throw quickly out to the far sideline, tipped and incomplete. Fed could not reel that one in amidst the coverage by Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo, a second-year player. Good coverage there on the third wide receiver Fed for the Hyenas. And that's a matchup you expect him to win every time.
So a 3rd and long now for Houston. A defensive battle the entire way as Warren with one play that took him to the end zone on Houston's first drive. But other than that, it's been tough sledding here for both teams. Johnson takes the high snap. He's going to throw it deep over the middle of the field, and that's caught. The Hall of Famer DR Sim has it, and he's going to be in enemy territory down to the 23-yard line. What a play there. Johnson to DR Sim.
And you knew it was just a matter of time before that happened. It's the connection. The guy's just too good. Sees where he wants to be inside the defense, and a great throw by Kentez Johnson, and then it's just DR Sim off to the race.
And Hoffman with the rookie mistake there, kind of getting pulled towards the line of scrimmage, opened up the door a little bit for the Hall of Famer, and he just ran straight into the teeth of that defense out to the 23-yard line. And Houston's in business, especially with a free 5 yards here, as Warren Murray couldn't get quite back to the line, but it's going to be a 1st and 5 as a result of the neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, Sam Lance is going to be the culprit on that one. And Nothing worse than that, the battle in the trenches. You don't want to give away any free yards, and a lapse in judgment there, and tough sledding. Now it's easier to get that first.
Well, especially being down 6-0 already and having all sorts of problems on offense. Again, a great look at the chat there on the right-hand side. Be sure to visit twitch.tv/11sports next in order to participate with our players and coaches in there. Eddie Gage, DR Sim, two Hall of Famers, both on the Houston Hyenas. AJ Today, Jackson, Packer Fred. Let's see, a lot of different guys in there. Tackle Saint is in there as well, as Warren Murray gets the first down out to the 12-yard line of Charleston. And that's going to be into the SFL red zone, Steven.
Yeah. While we're talking about Eddie Gage and, DR Sim, not only is Eddie Gage, the safe defensive coordinator, DR Sim, he's not only a wide receiver, but he's also, a coach as well and owner of the Hyenas. So multiple roles and things and a touchdown. There is Leroy Brown. I'm sorry, Eric, to take your call, but Leroy Brown got a touchdown and puts the Hyenas up by 12 now.
Packers always stealing my calls on this one. Who put you in the booth with me anyway?
Broadcast. You gotta take that up with Mike Daggs, man. He apparently likes us together. He likes it when I steal your thunder.
Of course. But no, we get a look at it's a great shot on the replay, by the way. Leroy Brown just taking the football, plowing ahead across the goal line and into the end zone. And that results in a touchdown for the Hyenas. Like they go for the single point here, as the first one was blocked. So we'll see if David Griffin and company can convert this one. Good snap this time, up and through. 13-0 your score in favor of the Hyenas. And we got to take a short break. We'll see you on the other side. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. We're live on 11 Sports. And welcome back from Houston. Hyenas looking good today as they put up 2 touchdowns on the board on the Predators, 13-0 in front of their home crowd. 9:21 left to go here in the first half, and Charleston having all sorts of problems on offense. We'll see if they can right the ship here as Dulake takes it out to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Predators will take over. Steven, what do you think the Predators need to do here in order to get some sort of momentum on offense?
Well, I think they need to change their pace up a little bit. I think they need to take a couple of shots to their wide receivers. Mix something up, maybe take a big shot on first down and then hand it to Swearingen on second and third. Just change something up a little bit, become a little more aggressive.
I like the way you think. We'll see if they go deep shot here. Drew is going to throw it quickly this time, and he finds Macaro down towards the bottom of the screen for a short gain of 4, and that's at least moving things in the right direction.
Yeah, that's an okay route. That's a safe route. You definitely needed to pick up the yards, so sometimes those out routes can drag you out of bounds and become incompletion. So at least you got the 4 yards there. Now, I'd like to see maybe a swing pass or a handoff to Swearingen here.
2nd and 6 now from the 31. Drew under center, bunch wide receivers towards the top of the screen. Swearingen going counter there, and man, oh man, this Houston defense is just ready. Tackle is back there. Fats Johnson is back there. I mean, those are 2 guys you do not want in your backfield.
Yeah, and so I guess, there it shows. I did the same thing, and they would have stopped me as well. So, but I still like the idea. Swearingen's kind of the cog that makes your offense go. You got to keep them involved.
TD Drew stepping up in the pocket. It's going to throw deep and into coverage. Picked off. Going the other way is Houston. Plenty of room along the far sideline there as Houston brings it out to the Charleston 23-yard line. What a play by that Houston defensive backfield there.
Yeah, that's the rookie Aiden Davis, was taken 2nd overall in the rookie draft by Houston. And he's making an impact here in his rookie season. I think the Houston ownership and coaches all the way from top to bottom are very happy with this addition to their roster.
I think top to bottom, they got to be very pleased with the defense. Their offense was always very, very good. Obviously, having the Hall of Famer DR Sim and Warren Murray for 4 seasons now. But yeah, they've got to be very happy with this defense, especially when they make plays like that. Kentez Johnson now to throw, short drop, throws it into coverage and incomplete. That was a throw he wished he had back, as the other rookie, Kaladin Holly, on the opposite side, pass defended on that play. As we get a look at the chat there, Steven, plenty of fun people out there. Go ahead and give some shout outs there.
Well, it's all the reactions too from the interception, but I see BJ Loveless on there, Tackle Saint, which is Chad Tackle, Syndicate, Eddie Gage, True KJ5. Who else is on there? AJ Today Jackson. Thank all you guys for being here with us, man. I hope you guys are enjoying this game.
Some good names there as Warren Murray rushes up the middle for a gain of 2. So it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Hyenas, as the Predators were ready for that play. Eight minutes to go here in the first half. Houston can take a commanding lead here with a touchdown. Johnson in the shotgun. Murray sidecar left. Johnson to throw. He's going to throw it into coverage and incomplete. Josh Fed couldn't quite come up with the tough catch, and it falls incomplete. We'll see a field goal attempt coming up here for Houston.
Yeah, it looked like Charleston was prepared on that one. They only had 3 down linemen, so they were expecting a pass, and it was a good job by their defense to knock that one down.
So we'll see David Griffin again. He's had 1 blocked extra point. This is his first field goal attempt of the evening. And it'll be a 38-yard attempt. Good snap this time. Kick is up and through from 37 yards. So Houston adds 3 more to the board. Still a 2-possession game for the Hyenas. And Charleston can easily make a comeback here.
So yeah, there's still a chance here for Charleston to get back in this game. Like you said, it's still a 2-possession game. They would just have to go for 2 twice. But they really need their defense to kind of clamp down a little bit tougher, and then they've got to figure out their offensive struggles. There's still time here in the second quarter to score some points, at least close the gap a little bit before we go into halftime.
Lake trying to throw a spin move there on the return and runs into some blockers. Fortunately for him, ends up being dropped at the 27-yard line of Charleston. And Steven, you're absolutely right. They're trying different things on offense, just can't quite get things rolling the way that they're expecting. And you can't turn the football over when you're struggling on offense.
Some interesting tactics up there on the top side of your screen. They're mixing up press and bump coverage, or loose and press coverage.
And Swearingen with the handoff there only gets a couple, and guess who? Fats Johnson getting in there, making a stop again. He is a huge presence, 6'7", 320, and Chad Tackle maybe a biscuit short of it, 6'5", 320.
And that's a tough front 7 right there. That's some big bodies up front.
Hyenas defensive line shifting on this play. Drew to throw. He's going to want it all towards the near sideline. Caught! That's Ken Macaro out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, out jumps Anthony Wyo, and Ken Macaro's got his first big reception of the day.
Get another look here. That's a good angle there. Nice spiral by Drew, and way to recognize that Macaro was kind of before the coverage there. The coverage was a little bit out in front of the throw. So good on him for recognizing that and throwing the ball a little bit short. So 1st and 10 from the 46 now, as Charleston might be finally getting some things going. A wobbler out over the middle of the field, and that falls incomplete. We do have a game break here, so we'll send it down to our commissioner, Cameron Irvine, for an update. Cam.
Thank you, Eric. 3 games in the books already today. Tallahassee comes back, scores 14 unanswered to beat London 24-20. Oklahoma City kicks 7 field goals, and Jason Williams rushes for over 200 yards in a 28-14 win over St. Louis. And Baltimore stayed undefeated by beating San Francisco 27-10. Back to the crew in Houston.
Thank you, Cam. And we've had some exceptional action today in the SFL. As great defense there again by Houston. The Hall of Famer Eddie Gage getting in there and making sure that the ball falls to the turf.
And I wish the cameraman hadn't followed BJ Loveless, because Eddie Gage absolutely throttled the receiver to make sure that he didn't come up with that catch.
Rodney Panani out there in coverage as well. So pretty much all the stars of this Hyena defense out there on that play, converging on the football, resulting in a 3rd and 10 from the 46. Charleston, a little play action. Drew, diving attempt at the catch, and that falls incomplete. It was looking for Shea Carroll and couldn't quite come up with it. So they finally get a 1st down here, but couldn't quite convert into any points, Steven.
And that was actually a nice looking play there, and it just a little bit better throw, or I don't know if Carroll was off on the timing or not, but a little bit better throw, and that would have put you really close to a 1st down. That was a nice play design.
Just under 6.5 to go here in the 1st half. Charleston with another punt. Pete Zorin has been busy this evening. We'll see if he can hit the brakes on this punt. Sliding catch.
Yeah, that's going to be marked.
He did, yes. They mark him at the 3-yard line. Houston has some work to do on the other side of the break. You're watching Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. Get a look at Kentez Johnson setting up shop here. He is setting up shop deep in his own territory at the 3-yard line on the other side of that Pete Zorin punt. Hand off to Warren Murray, and he's got room. Spins out of a defender and couldn't quite get his traction going a little bit further. He still gets 7 on that play. That was an exciting 7 to watch there, Steven.
Yeah, and a well-earned 7. Charleston had 8 in the box there, so anticipating a run, and for Houston to still get 7 out of that play, it's a great effort from Warren Murray.
Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker. You're watching Simulation Football League football from Houston, Hyena Park Stadium. As Warren Murray gets another carry and powers his way forward, they're going to give him forward progress and a 1st down. I thought that he was stopped just shy of the 1st down marker there, Stephen, but they'll give him credit and they'll move the sticks.
Yeah, it looked like a battle between Brandon Haight and Warren Murray, and Warren Murray just happened to get the win on that one.
Full house formation. Johnson swings it out to Murray, and Brandon Haight was ready for that one, as Murray only gets 2 on the play out to the 15-yard line, 2nd down.
Again, good speed and agility for a linebacker to follow a running back out in the flats and make a tackle before a big gain. So, again, Brandon Haight's that guy for the Predators defense that he can really kind of do everything for you.
I formation this time for the Hyenas. Predators stacking the box. They've got 6 in there. Technically 8, excuse me. As Warren Murray is going to bounce it to the outside. And man, what a hit. Coming up there, that was, who was that? Was that?
No, I think that was, that was Hoffman. 45 made the tackle. There he is. A big hit from him, the free safety.
Built like a linebacker, 6'3", 225. As Houston now with a third down, and he's going to throw it towards the near sideline, and that's caught. Leroy Brown with some space down the near sideline. Man, and BJ Loveless along the sideline just cheering him on like, go, boy, go. You got it.
Yeah, trying to give him that extra motivation. You worked hard for this. You can do it, man. Yeah, but finally gets caught. The touchdown-saving play made. And,
Let's see if we can
man,
see it here.
Houston's really figuring things out.
Yeah, look at him, BJ Loveless. Hey, let's go. Let's go. That was a great shot there. Great catch by Leroy Brown, and way to turn on the afterburners for him as he gets into Charleston territory out to the 35 where it's going to be 1st and 10. Houston taking command of this ball game, up by 16 with 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Hand off to Warren Murray. Gets through the first line of defenders out to the 31-yard line for a gain of 4.
And Houston's pretty much in the driver's seat right now. You know, they can pick what they want to do. Do they want to take a deep shot or do they want to run the ball? That, you know, it's in their favor right now. So keep going with what works, and you're going to go into halftime with the lead.
I formation on 2nd down. Johnson's going to throw. Throws quickly to the far sideline. He's got the Hall of Famer DR Sim for a 1st down. Out into the SFL red zone to the 17-yard line, where it's going to be 1st down and another drive extension for the Hyenas.
Yeah, DR Sim, as this game has gone on, has kind of starting to heat up. So, you know, he hasn't got the end zone yet, and I know he's going to want to get there before the game is over. So we'll see how long it takes him to get score a touchdown tonight.
Be sure to follow the SFL on Twitter at SimulationFL. Use the hashtag #MakeAnImpact and spread the word. Sure to do that on both Instagram and Twitter, by the way. Love seeing the hashtags. All the hashtags. Hashtag all the hashtags. Kentez Johnson, good pocket. Hit as he's thrown. Gets it down to Warren Murray, who only gets maybe a yard or 2 on the play. Good open field tackle by Charleston. As I believe that was Jack Brown there with the hit.
Yeah, and not only does the Simulation Football League have a Twitter account, but, you know, a lot of the teams have social media accounts as well on Twitter and Instagram. So, you know, if you have a favorite team within the league, you can follow that team and, you know, keep up with their weekly postings and whatnot.
It's a very good point there, Steven. Lots of information out there for the Simulation Football League as Warren Murray tries to get out of the first tackler, but gets met by a second right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down.
And so an interesting decision you have to make here, you know, do you kind of play it safe and put it in the hands of Warren Murray, or do you try to get the 1st down and extend your lead even more?
We'll see. Trips towards the top of the screen here. 3rd and 9. Johnson to throw. Pump fakes. Goes opposite way to the far sideline. DR Sim, he's got the defense beat, and he will get dragged down at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal, Hyenas.
And a touchdown-saving tackle by the safety Oscar Steed. But, you know, I know that look in DR Sim's eye. When he caught the ball right here and his head turned around, he's looking for the end zone. I mean, I'm surprised he came up short there, because he's the kind of guy that, like I said, when he wants to score, he's going to score.
And I feel bad for Oscar Steed getting the assignment of the Hall of Famer there on that play. 1st and goal now from the 2. Warren Murray, no one there at the line of scrimmage. Waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Yeah, untouched, 2 yards into the end zone. It's a you know, a nice blocking up front by the Houston front line, but not much resistance there from the Charleston Predators.
Brandon Haight was really the only guy there that could have made that play. And at the other side of the 2-minute warning, we'll see the extra point. Houston with a commanding lead here at home. Stick with us. Simulation Football League football on 11 Sports. 2 minutes to go here in Houston, technically 1:59, as the Hyenas score again here at home. Waiting to convert this extra point to take a 23-0 lead on the visiting Predators. Good snap, good hold, kick is up and through. 23-0 is your score in favor of the Hyenas, and we were just talking about this a little bit. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker here in the booth with you in Houston, and this was looking like a defensive struggle here early on, and Houston has turned it on here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was kind of the point, when we were talking about Leroy Brown and DR Sim and, how well these teams matched up. And it was really, to us, it was like, well, what are DR Sim and Leroy Brown going to do? And then what receiver from the Predators, which one's going to show up? Because, everything else seems to line up just perfect, where it's going to take a standout play from somebody who just goes above and beyond to take their team over the top. And so far today, it's actually been Warren Murray, not so much Leroy Brown and DR Sim, but, they're all contributing right now.
Yeah, Warren Murray, 2 touchdowns to his credit, almost 100 yards here in the first half of play. And Houston has taken over this ballgame. Keith Swearingen has not gotten anything going on the ground as he is stopped right at the line. And we have yet another game break from down in headquarters. Our Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Cam.
Turning SFL viewers into fans. Shout out to some new people in our Discord server. P. Devious, Moot, Binky, Mincy Mind, Joseph, Condor, and Rez. Thanks for watching on 11 Sports, and thanks for tuning in to Simulation Football League. We'll see you on the field maybe next week. Back to you guys in Houston.
Thank you, Cam, as we get a little no-huddle action here from Charleston, trying to get things going here before the half. All 3 timeouts available for the Predators. 7-step drop for TD Drew. He'll throw it towards the middle of the field, and that's caught, but they're going to mark it short of the first down marker. Shea Carroll there with the catch, and a 4th and inches coming up for the Predators.
Yeah, Shea Carroll, the journeyman, he's really a quality wide receiver, just he hasn't seemed to find a home yet. He just kind of wants to figure out where he wants to play at, but the guy's a great wide receiver, definitely knows what he's doing out on the field, just came up just short there. And I wanted to say that Everett Garrison made that tackle, last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Good shout out there. Houston content with letting the clock roll down here as they have, again, a commanding lead, 23-0 here at home. Charleston giving the football back to them. Fielded at about the 20-yard line as Fed will plow ahead to the 24 with 22 seconds left to go here. The other bad news for Charleston is that Houston is going to get the football at the other side of the half here.
Yeah, and so, it'll be interesting to see if with the 3 timeouts, if Houston wants to try at least push for a field goal here. If they wanted to be aggressive, that's what they would do.
Now that is the definition of aggressive there. And they're going to throw. Kentez finds Leroy Brown as he has 4 catches this evening. Gets out of bounds, saves a timeout. 18 seconds frozen on the clock for an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, when they get a little bit closer to midfield, are they going to take the deep shot, maybe a Hail Mary, or are they just going to kind of maybe run the clock out here?
Going with that full house formation again. They have had some success early on with this. We'll see what happens here as Warren Murray gets a handoff. Good spin move and is able to get first down yardage out to the 35-yard line. I think if he had gotten a little bit more yardage, Houston might have wanted to hit the gas a little further, but I think they're going to take the lead here into the half. 23-0 is your score, as Houston has just turned it on here in the second quarter. 2K Sports halftime show coming up here, where we get the first half stats and highlights. Steven, as these are kind of coming up here, what sort of jumps out to you between these two teams?
Well, definitely, the passing yards is a huge difference. And look at the rushing yards. Keith Swearingen, one of my kind of personal favorite guys, is kind of non-existent right now, and that's that for me that's shocking considering going into this week he was number 2 on the rushing list. So I guess that's a huge credit to the Houston Hyenas and their defense. But that's probably for me the biggest shock is Keith Swearingen's total yards.
I would have to agree with that. Being held to 3 yards, and you're one of the top SFL backs out there, it's just something you don't see quite a bit. And honestly, with the exception of the missed extra point, Houston has played mistake-free football. Like, they have just put together a very complete first half on all sides of the football, and it shows on the scoreboard currently, Steven.
Yeah, and like you said, all sides of the football, offensively and defensively, they look really well-rounded. You see there, Aiden Davis, their cornerback, making an interception. They got a really good defensive core. They favor defensively. They favor their defense in Houston, and they trust that their offense can keep them in the game with the weapons that they have there.
And I just want to give a quick chat shout out here to Syndicate. All gas, no brakes, but he spelled brakes B-R-E-A-K-S. And then he corrected it to brakes as in the car brakes, B-R-A-K-E-S. But honestly, both of those fits, which I really like. So shout out to him for making me smile a little bit there. Get a look at Leroy Brown's big catch there, Steven. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I just think it'll be interesting to see how the linebackers for Charleston adjust. They're not getting a lot of help from the big men up front, so it's really going to be on Jack Brown and Brandon Haight to kind of set the tone for this Predators defense, and slow down Warren Murray.
Yeah, 100%. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker tonight here in Houston from Hyena Park Stadium. And as we mentioned, Houston taking control of this ballgame. A big second quarter from the Hyenas. Can Charleston turn things around here? Will they win the third quarter? Possibly the second half. We'll have to see as Josh Fed returns the football out to the 25-yard line where Houston will take over. Upcoming broadcast schedule on 11 Sports. Be sure to note that all these times are Central Time. Sunday, today, at 9 o'clock. Chicago and Atlanta. Both of them will square off on 11 Sports. New Orleans and Queen City on 11 Sports tomorrow at 6. Seattle facing off on our Twitch channel. And we'll have one more game to round out the schedule there tomorrow as Kentez is going to throw into traffic, and it is still in the air and incomplete. I'm not sure why he threw that football, but man, oh man, you didn't want to throw it near Jack Brown.
Yeah, I want to cycle back to that schedule. That's the remaining games for this week. Pretty much all of those games that are coming up are good games. That game tonight at 9 o'clock, Chicago, Atlanta. That's going to be a great game. And then tomorrow you got, New Orleans and QCC, Seattle and Las Vegas, and then Carolina and Tulsa. All of those games should be really close, really good games coming up. And again, the times you see, they're Central Time.
Absolutely, 100%. And your commissioner, Cameron Irvine, going to be on the call for the nightcap tonight with Charles Doherty, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Always love hearing his calls. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, that's a great duo there. They're really fun.
Absolutely. Love listening to them call games. 3rd and 4 now from the 31 for Houston as they're very slowly moving the football. As Kentez is going to throw, he finds his man out across the middle of the field. That's a good catch by the tight end, Randy Gathers, as Kentez is starting to kind of spread the football around a little bit.
Yeah, picking up a little bit of rhythm, maybe a little bit of a confidence thing. It helps when you're playing with a little bit of a lead as well. You're not worried so much about maybe if I make a turnover here, am I going to lose the game for us? You kind of get loose and you're willing to take a couple more shots.
So 1st and 10 now for Johnson. Cuts off his drop there and throws it deep. That was just a strange looking play. He wanted to get it out quicker as he saw Leroy Brown darting down the sideline, but the rookie Caledon Holly was in coverage and swatted it down.
Yeah, again, I could kind of see that the swagger was there, and then he just confirmed it. Just cut off his drop back early and tried to throw that thing in there, hit a tight window, but unfortunately it came up incomplete.
Good numbers for Kentez Johnson today. 176 yards through the air and a passing touchdown as well. Warren Murray has been looking good as he gets across the first down marker to the 49-yard line of Houston for another set of downs.
Yeah, he's running really hard today, and that's, good effort by Paul Connolly to hang on because Warren Murray was trying to break free. He almost did, but good job by Connolly to secure that tackle.
Connolly, the fourth-year man, spent his entire career here in Charleston, or with one of the iterations of the Charleston Predators. They have moved around a couple different times here in franchise history. Warren Murray with another handoff, and he will plow ahead to the 49-yard line into opponent's territory for a second down.
Yeah, the first year of existence for the Charleston Predators, actually coming off a win last week in the Battle of the Carolinas as they beat the Carolina Skyhawks. So, a good inaugural rivalry game for both teams, which Charleston won.
Big time win for them as Johnson is able to throw in a pretty clean pocket. Good blitz pickup there by that offensive line as he gets it out to Dracaris Jenkins out to the 41. And it's going to be third and maybe a chest hair.
Favorable formation for Warren Murray. I think they're going to probably get the first down on this one.
Only 4 down linemen here. And that's really all the defenders they have in the box. Warren Murray, plenty of room, and will get the first down out across to the 37-yard line. As we get a look at his numbers, he's averaging almost 7 yards a carry, which is bananas for a running back.
Yeah, I had a couple of big, huge, burst runs to inflate those numbers a little bit, but really that one was one in the trenches. The total weight on the line of scrimmage was heavily in favor of the Hyenas there. They just moved the Predators out of the way.
And it looked like they had good blocking in front of them there as Murray able to zoom ahead to the 32-yard line for a gain of 5. Probably could have come out of that little pile of bodies there and gotten more yards. That's what I was anticipating to see there, Steven. I formation this time, 2nd and 5. Hand off to Murray again, and Murray dragged down from behind. This time only getting a couple on the play. Tackle made by Zachary Bates.
Yeah, good job by Bates to come up from the safety position and secure that tackle. Any help you can get from your secondary, with the running back, near the line of scrimmage is a good job.
Well, and they're big safeties too. 6'3" are Paul Connolly and Jack Hoffman. Zachary Bates is 6'1", and all north of 220. So definitely big hitting safeties there as Warren Murray trying to get out of the backfield. And there's one of them we talked about, Paul Connolly getting in there and making the tackle in the backfield. So it's going to be a 4th down for Houston, and Charleston will get the football back.
Yeah, that puts them just outside of field goal range. I mean, it's a risky field goal if they decide to do it, but that looks like the punter, Adams is going to come out to punt. So great stop by Connolly.
Yeah, pretty much no man's land here for the Houston Hyenas as they'll try and pin the Predators back deep. Good punt. Looks like the special teams is down there. Can they feel it? Oh, man. Hit the brakes on that football down at the 1. Charleston with some tough sledding coming up on the other side of the break. What will TD, Drew, and company do? Stay tuned. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on 11 Sports. Back to Hyena Park Stadium here in Houston, Texas, where the Charleston Predators have had a tough go of things here, and it's looking even tougher. Keith Swearingen, though, getting some breathing room for the Predators as he gets 6 yards out to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say, who do you go to here on the 1-yard line? Swearingen's kind of been ineffective, but there it was. Kind of gives your quarterback a little bit of breathing room. So that's very helpful. Very helpful to not be standing in your own goal line.
2nd and 4. Bunched receivers towards the top of the screen for Charleston. TD drew another delayed handoff to Keith Swearingen. Swearingen trying to follow his blockers and does get enough for first down yardage out across to the 12-yard line where they will move the sticks.
Yeah, first down definitely helps you there. I mean, again, if you had gone 3 and out, your punter's going to be standing at the back of your own end zone. You need to string together some first downs to try and fight to put up some points, get yourself back in this ball game.
Oh, and Charleston in trouble already. No one blocking Chad tackle, which is just, I have no words for it here, Steven.
I have a word. It's out. Out.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, untouched. I mean, the center maybe got a little confused on his assignment and just gave Chad Tackle a free run at the quarterback.
And just a reminder there, as you see the leaderboard in sacks coming into Week 6, that's his 6th sack on the season as we enter Week 6. And Keith Swearingen, again, having trouble getting out of the backfield. He really hasn't had a ton of success running the football today as Lawrence gets in there this time and stops him behind the line. 3rd and very, very long coming up.
And it's risky, if you take a shot here and you turn it over. I mean, this is pick 6 territory. This is dangerous. Let's see what they do.
And another handoff to Swearingen. Swearingen losing yardage yet again back to the 4-yard line. So things were looking good there for them, Steven, and just a couple unfortunate plays. They're pretty much right back where they were, and the punter is right back up against his wall.
Yeah, once they got the initial first down after clawing out of the 1-yard line, then it was just kind of all negative from there. It's an unfortunate punt, but good job of not giving up a safety or anything like that. It's tough to do down there when you're that close to the end zone.
Absolutely. A quick kick there from the punter as pressure was coming. And we do have a flag on the play.
Clipping, number 28, defense.
And we're going to get clipping called on the field against Houston. So a little bit better field position there as far as the Predators are concerned, because that was not a great punt. We'll get another here.
Yeah, it's going to put a little bit more net on that punt for the punter. Going to move them back, move the Hyenas backwards, probably about 10 yards.
And again,
15, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Darnell Black, the guilty party on the play, but I'm not seeing anything that necessarily is guilty in any way, shape, or form. So a bit of a head scratcher penalty there. Houston still with great starting field position on their own 49-yard line, right around midfield. As Kentez Johnson with a 7-step drop, he's going to air it out deep. Over the middle of the field, it's picked off. Tip drill going the other way for the Charleston Predators. Johnny Bravo has it as he gets out to the Charleston 44-yard line, and hopefully that is exactly what the Predators need in order to jumpstart their offense.
Yeah, this is a lot better than standing in your own end zone. So let's take a moment to appreciate that. Hoffman to Bravo, and then he calls out the Peter call, and everybody goes to block, and a good return on the interception. Some teams call it fire. When I grew up, it was Peter.
See, I was about to say Peter was always, get away from, playing a lot of special teams. But again, you're absolutely right. Different things from different teams, different necks of the woods. 1st and 10 from the 44. Quick pass out to Shea Carroll, and he's got a first down. Good play there from the Predators as they're able to move into Houston territory very quickly, and another first down. Approaching 3 minutes to go here in the third. TD Drew pump fakes. He's in trouble. He gets hit as he's thrown, and that falls incomplete as Gregory was laying the lumber on the quarterback. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, the front 7 for the Hyenas are really, stepping up, making their presence felt. The Predators have been struggling all game long. and it's mainly due to the pressure that the front seven's generating.
Second down now, 3 wideouts to work with. Swearingen offset in the backfield. TD Drew to throw, quick throw out to the far sideline. He's got Maccaro, and that's out across to the 40-yard line where it's going to be a 3rd and short coming up here.
Yeah, Maccaro's a good receiver. I'd like to see him get involved a little bit more in this game. Swearingen kind of struggling, so why not take a shot? You got 3 receivers that are pretty good targets. Take a shot with them.
Predators need this here on 3rd and 5. Drew again throwing that out route. He's got Maccaro, but he left the route short. Only a gain of 3, and it's going to end up being a 4th down for Charleston. Honestly, I would go for it here at this point.
Yeah, you're down quite a bit, so I think you got to up the tempo. There's not a whole lot of game left here, so you need something positive to happen.
And we will still see the Predator offense. Will they run a play here? Question. Drew under center.
Good
5 on the
discipline
play
by the
clock.
Hyenas.
Yeah, and they will burn a timeout there. Good, you called it there. Great discipline by the Houston Hyena defense not to jump off sides and forcing Charleston to burn their first timeout.
Yeah, you could see it in their stances. They were locked in. They knew exactly what needed to happen. Their crowd was behind them. Way to hold true. And like I said, now you're probably going to see Charleston punt, even though we both agree that they should probably go for it here.
Absolutely. And one of the best venues here in the SFL, as their fans are always very loud here in Houston. They love their Hyena football. So another punt here by Zoran. Hoping to pin the Hyenas back deep again. Gunner is down there right at the 5, and what a punt there by Pete Zoran as they touch it down at the 7-yard line. It's been a field position battle here in the second half. What does Houston have in store on the other side? Come back and find out. Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. And another possession here from the Houston Hyenas offense. They have been on fire here they were on fire here in the first half. Great second quarter to get them that 23-0 lead as Warren Murray is pulled down in the backfield. And that's kind of been the story in the second half here, Steven, as Houston just has not quite seized the momentum in the second half.
Yeah, really took control, especially going right into halftime, really took control, and just not quite the same firepower coming into the second half.
Inside the broadcast booth with you, Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker, live in Houston, Texas at Hyena Park Stadium, and Warren Murray following his blockers. He's got some room down on the near sideline, and Paul Connolly able to catch up with him finally. Dragged down at the 35 for Houston. What a big play there by Murray.
He must be tuned into the game right now because right as we're saying, oh, they're lacking the firepower, Warren Murray just explodes and gives the Hyenas a big play.
Very
Man,
impressive.
if he could have just broke that last tackle, that might have been the one.
Minute 20 to go here in the third. Bunch wide receivers towards the top of the screen for Kentez Johnson. Johnson stands in the pocket, throws, diving attempt by Leroy Brown, falls incomplete.
I thought he was targeting Sim at first, and it just, it looked like Sim had his man beat going deep, but instead it was going to the receiver underneath Brown, and Man, if I had that one back, like I said, I would have maybe taken a shot at DR Sim.
That brings up a second down here. 4 wide receivers this time for Kentez Johnson and company. He's in the gun. Warren Murray sidecar right. Murray's going to throw far sideline, falling down, making the catch, and falling out of bounds. That's going to be a 5-yard gain for Leroy Brown, and a 3rd and 5 coming up. Got the chat over there on the right-hand side. Some great people in the chat. Be sure to check out twitch.tv/11sports next to chat with all of our fine players and coaches. DR Sim, the Hall of Famer in there. Base Scout 11. Our commissioner, Simulation FL. That real imp guy, True KJ5, Kentez Johnson himself. Another Hall of Famer, Eddie Gage, in there as well, as Kentez throws it over the middle into coverage, tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Josh Fed. That was a bit of a greedy pass there.
Yeah, and Caledon Hawley's kind of been around the ball all game, and yeah, almost tipped it right to Connolly. And shout out to Lone Wolf. Thanks for being in here with us, man.
Got to do the chat shout outs, man. Keep people interested.
Oh yeah, and it's great. We have such a great community, and when we add new people in, it's just like an extension to our family. So we're welcoming to all newcomers and anybody that wants to be involved. We're happy to expand our community and with open arms. Everybody's welcome here.
Absolutely. He was saying that he loves this feature of this channel, and I agree. We love being here at 11 Sports as Houston boots the ball down the field back to Charleston, and we'll see what the Predators can do here. They just haven't quite had any sort of offensive momentum, and I hate beating a dead horse with this comment, but it really has been that way all game long.
And it's like we said at halftime, it's very very strange considering Keith Swearingen going into this week, second leading rusher. So it's just not quite what we were expecting to see here.
Inside a minute to go here in the third. TD Drew in trouble, and he goes down. Pocket was collapsing around him, and guess who? Chad Tackle getting in there and make a stop. He's the other big bad defensive tackle on that front line.
Yeah, and now he's up to 7 sacks on the season. So we'll see next week where he ends up on the leaderboard. But he's working his way up. We referenced Ghibli Doo earlier, who had 6 sacks and a safety in 1 game this season,
which is crazy. And Keith Swearingen had just about 300 yards rushing in 1 game. So that obviously a big reason why he is up there on the leaderboard as TD Drew airs it deep, and he's got a man out for across the 40 to the 41. That's Ken McCarro as we get a look at the leading receivers tonight.
Yeah, I like the shot by TD Drew to get it to Ken McCarro. He's probably their top dog in their wide receiver core. So good job. And yeah, going against a guy like Eddie Gage, that's a great catch.
And again, looking at those numbers as we reach the end of the third, everyone get your 4s up. We got a ball game coming at the end of the third. 23-0 is your score in favor of Houston. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to help hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel, and the exclusive SFL shop provider. And by Spygo, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage as we get looks at Houston, Texas. A lot of trees and things like, Houston in the city, you don't see a whole lot of the trees here. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker here in the broadcast booth at Hyena Park Stadium. And some beautiful shots there of Houston as we get a handoff here for Keith Swearingen, trying to make some beauty show up in this Predator offense as he gets 4 on the play.
Yeah, there's a lot of landscape to the city of Houston, Texas. Texas is a beautiful state everywhere you go.
Could not agree with you more. And landscape was the word I was looking for. Apparently the coffee is going to my head here. Great coffee they have here in Houston. Woo. 2nd and 6 now from the 45. 10.5 minutes to go here in the ballgame. Keith Swearingen trying to get through that first tackler, but hits a wall of defenders as he's only able to get maybe 1.5 yards out to the 47-yard line. 3rd and short coming up.
And so the time is now for the Predators. You got to step on the gas pedal here. You got to open up your playbook and take some shots downfield.
We'll see what TD Drew does here as he has 4 wide receivers to work with. Pocket collapsing around him. Fires down to the far sideline. And that is caught by Shea Carroll. Could not quite turn the corner and get the first down. So it'll be 4th and 1 coming up for Charleston. And again, Steven, I think it's 4 down territory, but I'm not sure if we'll see the offense coming out here.
Yeah, I think you need to go for it. I mean, the out route was a little disappointing there. I know that's one of the staples of their offense, but not quite the yardage that you needed on that play.
It looks like we will see the offense come out here for Charleston. Good call for the Predators here. Snap is taken, delayed handoff to Swearingen. Swearingen is able to get first down yardage out across to the 48-yard line of Houston. It was looking a little dicey there, Steven, but he was able to get the first down yardage as we get a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule on 11 Sports. Your commissioner, Cameron Irvine, on the call for Chicago and Atlanta. That, along with Charles Doherty coming up, New Orleans and Queen City, going to be on Monday at 6 Central. As Swearingen gets a handoff, plows ahead to the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. We'll also see Seattle and Las Vegas Monday night. And Monday night at 8:30, Carolina and Tulsa. Going to be the fan night game of the week. Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson on the call for that one, Steven. Lots of great football coming up here for the SFL.
And another great commentary duo, man. Those
Yes.
two guys are excellent together.
You certainly can't tell that they're best friends, right?
No, you absolutely not.
No, of course not. 4 wideouts
Oh,
this time.
pressure immediately.
He avoids the sack. What a play! As he's able to complete the pass out to Dulake for the first down. Roll that replay. I need to see it.
He had no time at all. Literally, immediately pressure in his face. Oh, we're not going to get a good angle.
Why are we seeing Dulake? I mean, it was a good route by Dulake, don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on. TD Drew, incoming, ducks, gets out the way, throws the completion for the first down, by the way. Man, incredible play there by the Predators quarterback as he moves the sticks deeper into Houston territory. Delayed handoff again for Swearingen, hurdles a defender, and able to get out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4.
And that was the safety, Anthony Wyo, stepping up to make the tackle. He's been in the league for 4 seasons, but this is his first with Houston, previously with Las Vegas and Tallahassee.
And I remember him in Vegas. He was definitely a force to be reckoned with there. Short stop there with Tallahassee. And here he is with Houston as Swearingen is able to move the sticks following his blockers out to the 22-yard line. Charleston with their best-looking possession here of the football game.
Yeah, Swearingen's kind of waking up here now. I was thinking when he got that first down and the carry to follow it, I think those were his 2 most productive runs on the day. And then a couple of plays later, he follows it up with that run. So, things are kind of clicking now. But, again, they're down on multiple possessions. They really got to step on the gas pedal and score some points.
As much as I love seeing Keith Swearingen involved in the game plan, you kind of need to hit the gas, and that's why you run into a couple of those plays there where you've got the veterans, BJ Lovelace and Fats Johnson, getting in there making tackles, and that puts a halt real quick to your momentum.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him throw the ball there. Again, slightly more aggressive. I know Swearingen's kind of the key guy, but you got to throw here. You got to trust your quarterback, TD Drew.
And another handoff to Swearingen. Actually, no, that's not Swearingen. That's the backup there, who is Carroll Knight. And he barely makes it out to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 3rd and long now for Charleston.
Not where you want to be against this Houston defense. They're a well-coached team.
TD Drew under center, single back formation, play action. He's going to throw it across the middle of the field, caught short of first down yardage by Daniel Blumenthal. And that is marked at the 15-yard line, 4th and 3 coming up. I still think that we should see 4-down territory here, but we might just get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, I think everybody says they want to go for 6 here, but on the other side of that, 4th and 3, if you don't get it, then you may not get another possession and you goose egg. So I kind of like the 3 points, kind of protect your pride, at least keep your your points per game average up somewhat. I like the idea. I like the call.
And Charleston barely able to get 3 points on the board there as pressure was coming up the middle by the Houston defense. But 3 points is on the board for the Predators. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Back with more Simulation Football League action as Houston still has a commanding lead over the visiting Charleston Predators. But the Predators have just gotten on the board with 3 points of their own. We'll see if they can mount an impressive comeback here with less than 6 minutes to go here in the ballgame as Josh Fed returns the football up for the Hyenas out to the 25-yard line. Be sure to like the SFL on Facebook. /Simulation FL. Promote to your friends and share your SFL glory. We are across social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we've got it. Be sure to check us out there. And also be sure to follow our sponsors as well, Nation's Best, our friends over there. They've got very impressive stuff on their Instagram page for sure and on their Twitter, so be sure to follow them as well. Kentez Johnson throwing towards the far sideline into coverage and incomplete, intended for the Hall of Famer D.R. Sim.
Yeah, interesting decision to come out throwing here, considering there's not much time left. You would think you'd see Warren Murray here and try to keep the clock rolling.
That'd be my guess as well. He's been very successful on the ground today as he eclipses the century mark. 2 touchdowns on the ground for him to speak of. I formation here. We might see a run. And it is a Warren Murray run, and a streaking safety comes up and makes the stop. Actually, that was the linebacker, Jack Brown, getting in there. 6'5", 254, and a tackle for loss.
Yeah, good field awareness to recognize the run and just immediately broke through the line and made the play. That's what a good veteran linebacker can do for you.
5th season in the SFL, his first here in Charleston. Previous 4 in Mexico City, south of the border. Johnson on 3rd down, throws it into coverage again, and it is incomplete. And Johnny Bravo was out there in tight coverage. I'm not sure what Kentez was looking at there.
Yeah, so 3 and out now, and you maybe burned 12 seconds off the clock. So Houston playing a little loose right now, playing pretty confident that they've got this thing wrapped up, and I think that there's time, and you can never sell your opponent short. Charleston has weapons on offense, and if it were me, I would like to see them try to milk some of the clock.
We'll see what happens. This playing right into Charleston's hands as they return the football out to the 40-yard line on the punt. So good starting field position here for the Predators as they finally get on the board on their last possession, see if they can string together a couple good drives, especially with clock winding down here.
First and 10 from the Predators, 41 yard line.
TD Drew under center. He's got 4 wideouts total to speak of, 3 bunch towards the top of the screen, changing things up at the line. Keith Swearingen the single back. Drew hands it off to Swearingen. Good spin move, but gets dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him 2 on the play as Charleston goes no huddle. Plenty of time going off the clock there on that first down. Swearingen with a one-handed grab coming out of the backfield for no gain. Good tackle out there by the corner, Jordan Lewis.
Yeah. Aiden Davis is going to get his second interception now. Stepped right in front of the route. They knew that they were going to come out throwing it. Aiden Davis is ready for it. Steps up. He gets his second interception on the day.
Very impressive job there by the corner to jump in there and get the pick. Again, I understand that TD Drew's trying to make something happen here, but I'm not sure why he threw it into coverage like that in that particular situation, and that results in the second interception for Aiden Davis.
Multiple Hyenas had a shot to grab that ball.
Absolutely. Good handoff. Good running room here on the handoff for Warren Murray as he makes it out to the 32-yard line, gain of 5, and the clock will continue to roll.
There's another tackle by rookie Caledon Hawley.
Second and 5.
So we get a look at Kentez Johnson's numbers. Just the 1 interception, the only blemish on his resume tonight. As we creep inside of 4 minutes to go, 2nd and 5. Letting that play clock bleed all the way down inside 10. And another handoff to Warren Murray as he gets 2 on the play. Jack Brown coming in there making the stop.
Gain of 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, I didn't call out Jack Brown's name much in the first half, but here now in the second, getting a little more involved, getting warmed up, getting a feel for what the Hyenas are doing. And he's a solid player.
Very active second half for sure. And I think that last pick there, Steven, kind of seals the deal here. Charleston needed to get something on the board, and turning the football over doesn't do them any favors here. Ball snapped at 2 on the play clock, and Warren Murray just fighting forward to extend the drive, and a great job by the veteran running back to get out to the Charleston 26-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Charleston coming out in their base formation. I don't think just doesn't have the weight up front to slow down this rushing attack of the Houston Hyenas. When you add that nickel back onto the field, you give up some of your run defense.
I formation this time for Houston, as Johnson is going to let that play clock bleed down again. Warren Murray with another run as he gets out to the 24-yard line. We got to look at his numbers. It's been spectacular tonight.
Number 38 with the tackle.
Clock's ticking down. Yeah, they're not going to be in any hurry now to get to the line. They're more than happy to let the clock run to 2 minutes.
And 2-minute warning it is here in Houston. The Hyenas with a commanding lead, 23-3 here in Texas. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. 2 minutes to go here in Texas as the Hyenas pretty much have this one in the bag, and this was a much-needed win for Houston as they're sitting at 1-4 in the standings. Charleston at 2-3, they will lose ground and fall to 2-4. Houston gaining ground going to 2-4 as we see Darnell Black come in with a carry, and Charleston forced to burn their second timeout.
He picks up 6 yards on the play. Number 38.
And a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule, Stephen. We've said it over and over, time and time again, but we've got good football coming up in the SFL. Chicago and Atlanta tonight with your Commissioner Cameron Irvine on the call with Charles Darkety. New Orleans visiting Queen City. Rich Pratchett and Andy Hamilton on that call. Seattle and Las Vegas. Chris Curtis and T-Roy Gaines. Finally, we have Carolina and Tulsa with Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson on the call. Those last 3 games all on Monday nights, and then we've got the nightcap tonight with Chicago and Atlanta. Lots of good ball games, lots of stuff to watch. Got to stay tuned.
And every time we're like, oh man, all these games are going to be great. And then also on top of that, all of the commentary duos that you mentioned, all of those guys are great. Like I'm really excited to listen to all of these games.
Absolutely. As Houston willing to take a knee here, as they will just run the clock down. Charleston with no more timeouts to speak of, so they cannot stop the clock. Houston definitely going to get out of here with a victory as we look forward to week 7 for these two teams. And looking through here, Houston going to go on the road
2nd and 11.
to Raleigh to take on the Carolina Skyhawks. And it's looking like Charleston might have an off week next week. So they'll have to kind of recoup, lick the salt from their wounds here, and hopefully come back in week 8 willing to fight another day.
And it is a long season. You know, plenty of teams start out slow, and then as the season progresses, you know, again, your players work hard. They check in every week. They put in their time, and your strategy evolves. And then, you know, you can string together a couple of wins and find yourselves on the hot seat. I know. Last season, right at playoff times, the seeding going into playoffs, it was a tight race. I mean, there was a bunch of scenarios where teams could be in and out, and it seemed to be like the lowest percentage thing that could happen, and teams that, you know, maybe felt like they were for sure to make the playoffs didn't, and it was just wild. It was a wild thing that happened there at the end of the season. So it's still early. You know, anything can happen late. You just gotta fight. You gotta continue to fight and try to put some wins, string some wins together, and you can find yourself where you want to be.
You are 100% correct. And it's been that way the past couple seasons, in fact, with the SFL playoffs. By the way, Charleston going to resume action in week 8 at home against the Denver Night Wings. The other participant in the finale, the championship game this past season, as Houston gets the win 23-3 here at home. Certainly not the kind of game that we were looking at here to start things off as we take a look at the post-game show, final stats and highlights. And again, Steven, what kind of jumps out at you here?
You know, I'm not gonna piggyback off what I said the first half. I'm gonna go with Warren Murray having 170 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. That's a huge number. That's a wonderful day, and I know Houston loves to see that their running back is putting up those numbers.
Well, and on top of that too, we talked ad nauseum about Keith Swearingen coming in here and how he's number 2 on the rushing list. Not able to really get anything today, so Warren Murray kind of jumping up that leaderboard a little bit with his impressive effort tonight. Yeah,
it's still anybody's. You know, anybody can take that rushing title. You know, week to week, some running backs just have the ability to explode and get huge numbers, and so it's just you know, which guy is going to be able to string those big games together and take home that rushing title.
And great play by the Houston defense as well, as the rookie comes away with 2 interceptions. Aiden Davis, the 2nd overall pick. As we get a look at our 2K Sports Player of the Game, none other than Warren. 7 attempts, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground today. And Stephen Hacker, any final thoughts before we let the people go?
No, it was a great game. Make sure you guys tune in tonight to catch the action with the commissioner. It's going to be a great game between Chicago and Atlanta.
100% on behalf of Stephen Hacker, my name is Eric Vinson. All those people deep in the heart of Texas keeping everything going down in headquarters. We want to thank them and thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, stay tuned. 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, the nightcap. Chicago in Atlanta to take on the Swarm. Cameron Irvine and Charles Dockery on the call. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Good night.